everybody who's here. How's it going? It's me, Jeremy. This is a little different than what we usually do here, but I'm just gonna, I guess, do a little stream-a-jig right now. Show all you guys how I convert the Dungeon Delve adventures from 4th edition to 5th edition. It's pretty easy, but there's a little bit of a manual fiddling you gotta do to make it work right. And I'll show you guys how I set everything up on Roll20. It's gonna be a really relaxed stream, I think, so I'm gonna try real hard to pay a lot of attention to the chat. I'm not a professional Twitch streamer, but you know, I'm gonna do my best. Oh hey Butters. Oh god, I'm sorry to hear you're sick. It's Jeremy and Jeremy time. Exactly, Farku, exactly. Well, Butters, I hope you're feeling better, man. Jeez. Make sure to eat lots of soup. Gotta eat lots of soup. That's what you do when you're sick. And sleep. At least that's what I do. Maybe that's why I get sick so much. Anywho. Yeah, we're gonna start looking at the Dungeon Delves. So, yeah, Jeremy time's the best time. Exactly. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about the Dungeon Delves. We're gonna be looking at what was a level 20 adventure in 4th edition. But for 5e, I'm thinking it's more of like, I don't know, probably like a level 13-ish adventure. The way I've kind of roughly figured it out is in 4e, level 1 characters had a lot more health. So like a level 1 adventure for 4th edition will slaughter level 1 characters in 5th edition. And they're both about the same at level 30. Like, they're basically the same kind of deal. So what I figured is, and I tested this with the first adventure I ran here on Delves. I ran a level 1 4th edition adventure for level 3 heroes in 5th edition. And it worked out pretty well. It was challenging. 2 of them died. And they beat it. And it was great. It was cool. And I dug it. And then I tested another adventure. I ran a level 8 adventure last week, which... level 8 in 5th edition. In 4th edition, that was level... I don't remember. I think it was level 10. Yeah, it was level 10. And so basically, my thought is, if I divide the 4th edition level by 2, and then add 3 to it, that'll pretty much work, maybe. That's what I'm hoping. So, level 20 divided by 2 plus 3, 13. That's what we're hoping for. And yeah, like Fark was saying in chat, 4th edition did a lot of stuff in squares rather than in feet, but I don't think that'll be a huge deal for us. So anyway, this adventure is called Cold Hands of Chaos, and it's pretty neat. It's got 3 little maps, as all these Dungeon Delves do here, and that's basically it. They consist of 3 one-off basically encounters in the dungeon. You go through, you look at all sorts of different stuff, battle enemies. And yeah, there's not a ton of room for RP baked into the dungeon here, but the players oftentimes can do that kind of stuff themselves, and as a DM, you can just make stuff up and make it work. So, without further ado, let's start talking a little bit about, yeah, Farku in chat, squares do make it a hell of a lot easier. I liked squares. I don't like feet. Feet's too ambiguous. I don't know. Anywho. So we got the dungeons, and it's got 3 little parts, a bunch of different enemies. It's got nice battle maps for each of these, and yeah, let's talk a little bit about the dungeon overall. So the way Dungeon Delve works is it'll give you the basic description of the dungeon. It's like 2 paragraphs, nice and simple, super easy, and this is just the premise of what's going on and why the enemies are here or what's happening, why the heroes need to defeat the dungeon. And it's pretty straightforward, pretty standard. These delves are meant to either be run as one-off encounters, one-off adventures, where all your friends get together for a night with random characters, you roll up and you play the game. It's great. Or you can take them and insert them into most campaign settings without a lot of difficulty. This one's a little funky because it deals with a specific demon lord, in being Orcus, the demon prince of undeath, but you know, you could just make that whatever big bad guy has to deal with the undead in your world and it works fine. So anyway, these dungeons are meant to be either insert into whatever game you want or just run individually. Some of my earliest, I started with 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and some of my early experience was with Dungeon Delves. That's how I kind of got experience DMing for the first time, and I have a soft spot in my heart for these. I think they're a great way to start for new players. So, Plunder, I'm glad to hear your cocktail's good. I wish I had something tasty. Instead, I just got my water, which, you know, waters is good, especially butters. Drink lots of water; it'll make you better. Or it won't, but hopefully it will. Cool. So, Cold Hands of Chaos. Let's talk about this. I'm just gonna start off by reading the little adventure hook. At the behest of Orcus, a demon prince of undeath, a mighty death priest Hierophant has begun assembling a powerful strike force. He intends to launch the first of many assaults upon the material plane, readying it for his master's arrival. With the help of potent allies and grand rituals, the player characters have discovered a route to the abyssal headquarters of the Hierophant. This delve begins as the PCs teleport from the world to the first of a complex of interconnected chambers deep in the abyss, linked only by portals. So, okay, wow, this is intense. This is a lot deeper than some of the other delves we've run. So the first thing is this is going to bring us into the Abyss, which, if you're not familiar with the Abyss, it is a plane of existence in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. It is the home of demons, and it's kind of characterized by chaotic evil beings. Chaotic evil being... They are creatures of entropy, of destruction, of wanton destruction. They are not really creatures of... Giant corrupted flumph? I'll have to consider this, but I love flumphs. Anyway, the Abyss is a place of chaos and doom. So this is a really interesting kind of setting here, where a lot of players, a lot of characters can have strong reasons to do it. So that's the first thing to really consider when you're going to run one of these one-offs, is you need to think, all right, what's my adventure hook? How are my players going to get into this? This adventure hook says that you have grand allies and crazy rituals that have sent you here, and you are here to stop these specific people. This Hierophant and his evil stuff. And yeah, that's okay. But if you're going to insert this into a long-standing campaign, that hook might be a little hard to fit in. Maybe your player characters don't have powerful allies. Maybe they're all dead because they're bad. I don't know. But what I would suggest, maybe hook onto that abyss, right? This chaos, this demons thing. A lot of lawful good characters, which seems to kind of be the default archetype some people go for. That and true neutral, I think, are the top, or chaotic neutral are the top two that I see. But a lot of people that are lawful good, that want to do the right thing, paladins, clerics, just in what they are, have a strong motivation to stop this, right? To fight Orcus here. Maybe a player in your party has a thing with undeath. Maybe they're a necromancer, and maybe Orcus is influencing their ability to raise the dead. And yeah, I mean, you can basically just pull whatever you want out of your butt, make it kind of work, give them some motivation. Maybe it's simply loot. Maybe this guy has stolen something that they need, some important artifact that he wants to use for his ritual, but the player characters also want to use it for some other ritual, or for whatever, who knows. You know, maybe they just want it because it's worth a lot of money. Those are all kind of good motivations you can use. What from the butt, indeed, Mr. Plunderloot. But yeah, cool. So we got the basic premise of the adventure. The first thing I always like to do is I like to write up my adventure hook. This is partially because I run this as a stream, and I like to have the adventure hook up on the stream so that everyone can, if they're tuning in halfway through, can see what the hell's going on. But yeah, so I got my handy dandy little notepad here. We're gonna say what we got. So, so maybe what are we gonna do? Are they gonna discover that there's this ritual going on? You know, I almost like the idea more that they are captured as part of the ritual. I really like that. maybe as part of a demonic ritual, a powerful Hierophant of Orcus, Demon Prince of Undeath, has... Maybe they haven't captured our heroes. Maybe they've captured something that the heroes care about. But these are just random players or characters, so I'm not sure. We'll say that has... What do you guys think? Does anyone have any cool ideas? Yeah, Plunder, if you ever find yourself in LA, hit me up. Let's see. One of them tied up. It's either a better way to escape. That might not be a bad idea. Let's actually, you know what? We're going to come back to this in a second. Let's scroll down to just look at the first encounter. So, Dungeon Delve has a bunch of text here where it's like expanding the delve and gives you some suggestions. So let's look at that. Instead of simply being an assault, open with an assault on a prominent city. Oh, shit, that's a great idea. And the PCs aid the city guard or prominent citizens. That's pretty cool. All right, you know what? I like that. Some more ways to make it more dangerous. I don't care about that. It's a realm is actually occupied by abyssal ghouls in a cavern complex. Yeah, I don't really care. All right, you know what? I'm going with this one. I like that. So, as part of a demonic ritual, a powerful Hierophant of Orcus, Demon Prince of Undeath, has assaulted the capital city of... What's a good name for the capital city? I like that, Farku. By stopping the ritual, they're actually completing it. Maybe that will be like the stakes at the end, right? I want to get rid of an artifact like the Iron Hand of Vecna. That's not too bad. The problem with that, Plunder, is I don't want to, like... Vecna is already his own big bad guy. I don't want to, like, throw that in with Orcus and... Oh, Flumpington! Oh my goodness, Butter, you're correct. We gotta... We'll keep the Flumpington in mind for later. Alright, so let's say he's assaulted this capital city of... What we're gonna name the city? We're gonna name the city... I don't know, of city. We're gonna rename that later. The capital city, city name. A strike force of demonic creatures has... no, I've already Zord assaulted, haven't I? I assaulted the capital city of city name. In the attack, a powerful cleric of... What's a good god? A god that would, like, seal away a demon lord in the abyss. Maybe, like... Selune? Selune's a powerful god. Selune. I don't know how to make the little E. We'll figure that out later. Powerful cleric of Selune. Or, I'm sorry. The arch cleric. There we go. Archpriest of Selune was taken by the demon spawn through a portal has been taken through a portal to the abyss. Our heroes, who are friendly with this archpriest, have bravely gone through the portal in chase, seeking to return the archpriest and prevent what terrible ritual the demon, the Hierophant may have in store. They have in mind. Whatever, in mind. Cool, whatever. We're gonna say that's good enough. Oh, we could do Paylor. I like Paylor a lot more than Selune, actually. Yeah, I'm going with that. Good idea there, Farku. All right, so on my avatar, what avatar did I change? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anywho, so yeah, we're gonna save that for now. Maybe we'll come back to it. I really like this one because it gives them a very obvious goal. It's not just destroy everything; it's save the Archpriest. And yeah, it gives them reason to keep going, right? If they clear out a room and they can't quite figure out immediately that they need to go through something to be like a portal, because it says that everything's connected by portals, and I'm gonna roll with that. They'll know, all right, we don't have the Archpriest yet, and we haven't found their dead body, so we got to keep figuring out where to go. I also dig this because maybe, just maybe, we'll oh, Farku, yeah, that's the DnDTime account is this. My regular Twitch account is TrustAFlumph. But yeah, right now I'm on DnDTime because the dashboard is real convenient to control. I don't know how to do that from other accounts. But yeah, anyway, I like this adventure write-up. It's clean, it's simple, it's not too long. You can see it kind of fits just kind of up there, up there a little bit, without going too far. Yeah, nice and simple. Short, sweet, to the point. And it gives us this Archpriest to work with, who later on, maybe the Archpriest is actually in on the ritual the whole time. And it's not the Archpriest that the demons were taking necessarily, but a magical artifact of Pelor that is the centerpiece to this ritual, right? Maybe it's a double betrayal twist. We'll figure it out. But until then, let's just keep digging through. Let's start looking at what the rest of this delve kind of entails. So, first thing I really like to do is I like to check out, I completely skipped this part here, the setup and whatever, and I want to just look at the map. So they give a little battle map with everything, and I have these all edited and ready for Roll20, so we got this battle map we're looking at, and what does it look like? There's a big pool of what looks like water. These are where the enemy starts, where the little R's are, which was pretty nice. I'm glad that it's there, so they show where everything would start off. And he betrays them and being a cleric of light uses fireball. Precisely. And then we have some weird portal or something going on in the middle, so we're gonna figure out what that is. So yeah, I like to just take a peek first and get an idea of what the map's going to look like before I delve too deep in. So let's scroll back up, and we're going to read the first encounter. They have labeled it Death's Doorstep, and it says, the PCs arrive in a chamber holding a font of soul energy. All right, that must be that big swirly thing in the middle. The source powers the undead through the complex and serves as a gateway to and from the world. So I guess they come out of there? I don't know. Roll a d12 and hold them up to determine which is the starting position. Re-roll if two PCs would appear in the same square. Okay, I get it. So, and the Death Priest is on square 9 by way of the icy pool. Leave the figure off the board. What the hell? By way of the icy pool, the second round. Okay, that's a little funky. And then it gives me some text to read. Some box text, as they call it in 5th edition now, but it's not boxy anymore. So it says, the chill of undeath washes over your soul and you step out of a swirling blue-black cloud that howls in agony. Oh, this is brutal already. In the illumination provided by the mist, you can see 3 rotting mockeries of angels standing in front of an icy pool. Alright, sick. So we're just jumping right into the fight. It sounds like, looks like my app is kind of freezing up for the PDF, but it sounds like the first thing you just dive right into the fight, which I'm pretty excited about. So the players are going to start randomly around here. I probably won't do that. I'll probably just have one appear maybe in each corner, and I'll have them roll randomly to see where they go. It'll be easier. I took these dumb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, whatever off of this because I don't like it. But we'll see. Does not work. Yeah, the problem, Butters, with having Divine Sense not work is it's almost easier to just be like, yo, dude, literally everything here. Yeah, like Farku was saying, rip if they actually have Divine Sense or something. Yeah, everything here is corrupted and not unhallowed, but what's the word? I don't remember. So yeah, we got that. And cool. We got the Rot Harbingers move forward to mark the PCs with their rotting claws. All right, I don't care about the tactics. 4th edition was an ultra tactics heavy system, and 5th edition's not. So most of this tactics stuff you can just ignore. A lot of these tactics are really obvious too, like the guy, the Death Priest, uses his Word of Orcus ability on as many PCs as possible. And like, you're gonna see why that's an obvious choice once we get to the ability. So let's look at them. We have 3 main enemies here, as you can see. We have these 3 R's, which are Rot Harbingers. You can see they're labeled as an R here. And we have a Death Priest Hierophant. So right off the bat, this is why I'm really glad we decided a different rationale, or not a different rationale, but a different motive than Death Priest Hierophant, because he's in the first battle. Like, if, you know, your hope, I think, in this dungeon is that he gets away and goes back to further levels. But, like, what if he dies? If they, like, just focus him really hard when he shows up, and he dies, that's the end of the encounter by his kind of, by the logic in the system, or in this, in the book. So that's why I think it's really important that we made a different reason, recovering the Archcleric, or Archpriest. So, let's look at what he does. He's got an aura. 4th edition had a ton of these auras that, some of them are okay, some of them aren't. This one, enemies take a penalty to defenses. That's a cool aura. That's actually okay. Because it's like, it makes the player characters more vulnerable, but it doesn't actually cause them damage. 4th edition had a big issue with having a lot of monsters with auras that automatically damaged enemies. And they're sick. Like, don't get me wrong, they're cool. But, oh my god, it would just suck when 6 enemies that couldn't hit you ran up next to you and their auras just killed you. It just feels so bad. So, yeah, like Fark was saying in chat, 4th edition makes a ton of really cool homebrew stuff for 5e. There's a lot of good stuff in 4e. As much as many people seem not to like it. Alright, Butters, take care, man. I hope you're feeling better. Enjoy your nap. And yeah, and 3rd edition 3.5 is even more crazy stuff, but my experiences with 4e. So, anyway, let's look at this guy. He's a Death Priest Hierophant. He's supposed to be really powerful and do all sorts of crazy stuff. He resists necrotic damage. He's got a mace, which I don't know. We could go with that. We'll see. Vision of Death. Okay. That just targets a guy. He really doesn't have a lot of abilities. He's got like a couple recharge things. And his Word of Orcus, the thing that the book told you to use immediately. Well, it's like, it's a big area, and it stuns everyone. So that's great. Like, why would you not start with that? Stunning a whole ton of people. What I would do for this guy, I don't know. I mean, he's a human, so there are some humanoid options. In Volo's Guide to Monsters, there is a war priest, which would be a pretty good option. It's, I think, got a mace or something. But I really want this guy to feel more like a spellcaster in 5e. This guy's got some strong abilities, but I want him to have more spells. So I'm going to just go with a, and actually I'm going to go down here and open a new little note here. And I'm going to say Death Priest Hierophant equals Archmage. So I'm going to use the Archmage from the back of, I think it's actually in the monster manual, as my kind of starting point for this Death Priest Hierophant. And I haven't really looked at the Archmage too much. I just know it's of a comparable level, and whatever, this guy works. And maybe I'll give him the Word of Orcus, or one of these other abilities to make him feel a little more unique. To make him a goblin. Let me just pick a level, a challenge rating 1/4 goblin, and just buff him all the way up to be a level 13 bad boy. I could do that. That's something you could do, but I think that's a little more, a little deeper than I want to go here. I generally try to make it as easy as possible for me. Anyway, my next thing to consider, Rot Harbingers. Okay, so they're like winged skeletal angels is basically what we're getting at. Is what it described them as, and that's cool. What else do they do? Ignore health and armor class and all that kind of stuff. It's really not relevant. It doesn't convert to 5th edition. The games just work totally differently. Yeah, exactly, Farka, the CR12 Archmage. So that's what I'm going to do with him. So the Rot Harbingers, I don't know, they just have one claw attack that hurt people. It does ongoing necrotic damage. I don't know if I liked ongoing necrotic damage, but I don't know. These things sound a little bit like Wraiths to me. They're like, they're big, ghosty people that like are kind of angel. I could take an angel like a Deva and like de-level it. That would be something I could do. Or actually, I don't think I have to de-level it, but I have to remove a lot of its abilities, like its healing hands and stuff. I think it's easier to just take something that is already very much undead and roll with it. And maybe I'll buff it up and buff it down. I don't think it's too critical. Give it the goblin hide and make him small. You're right, Farku. I could absolutely make him a goblin. But anyway, these Rot Harbingers seem fine enough. They do some stuff. Marked, that's an interesting condition that doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I love the description here. Medium elemental humanoid undead. Alright, can you just make up your mind? Is he... What is he? Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go with the Wraith for those, and we'll work from there. And let's look at the room. So, features of the area. This is in the book where it gives a great little description of all the little tidbits about the area. Illumination. The cloud of souls brightly illuminates the room. Okay, great. And you can actually see these black kind of pillars that will block light a little bit. Ceiling, 25 feet high. Great, plenty of room, not too worried. Pillars, they're carved from pure soul energy. Any living creature adjacent to a pillar can teleport to any square adjacent to a different pillar. Well, that's pretty cool. You can spend a healing surge. So they basically can spend their hit dice to teleport. Ooh, that'll be cool. I'm gonna super dig that. And Icy Pool. That's up here, I guess. Arcana check, which that's not the DC we'll use. Things work very differently here. I used an Illithid last time as the problem. I used the Alhoun last week, Farku, and Plunder, so I don't think I'm going to use the Alhoun again this week. I like just using the Archmage and maybe giving him some Orcus-specific abilities. Ooh, a Bodak wouldn't be a terrible idea. Maybe, you know, Bodak? We'll put a question mark there. And yeah, the Icy Pool is just the portal into the next room. So cool. Hopefully no one's dumb enough to leap into the Icy Pool in the middle of the encounter and then end up in the next room alone. We'll see, though. So let's keep on rolling. So, the second room is called the Icy Tomb of Splendor. Alright, cool. That sounds like a... Come on, give me the thing I want. Let me move the thing. Alright, doesn't want to let me do it. Cool. So right off the bat, we got Hezro. Alright, those are demons. And those actually exist. So we're just going to say Hezro equals Hezro. With very rare exception... Oh, jeez, I'm not going to just throw Orcus at him. Level 13. With rare exception, monsters stay about the same effective power between editions. Sometimes that changes, but for the most part, a Hezro is going to be a Hezro. So, cool. Great. 2 Ice Archon Rhyme Hammers. Oh, God. And 1 Ice Archon Frost Shaper. Okay. So, Archons are like big humanoid elemental creatures. They like human shape. They aren't humanoids. So, interesting. Let's read the setup. The Death Priest has recruited powerful Archon allies to his cause, knowing the demons and undead occasionally have their limitations. Okay, sure. Roll a d8 and consult the map, determine PC starting position. Alright, so this is once again the kind of deal where it's supposed to be random player starts. I don't care about that. They start frozen inside the wall, so don't place their miniatures. Ooh, okay, cool. On the first turn, they step out as indicated as move action. Alright, I dig that. And you read, as you step into the frigid pool, you find yourself pushed out of a mirror-like wall of ice into a chamber that smells like a rotting icebox. Frozen walls box you in, while cold alien blue light filters down from the icy ceiling overhead. A large idol of a loathsome toad-like demon crouches between rows of pillars. Layers of blood appear to be permanently frozen into the ground. I like that aesthetic. That's intense. Across from the idol is a boiling pool of blood flanked by 2 stone alcoves. Each alcove holds another big demon statue coated in a thin layer of ice. So I think what we got there, and let me scroll down. We got the frost guys here. We'll come back to them. I'm not too worried. Tactics down here. I don't care about that. So this is what I care about, the room. So it doesn't show any ice part here, which is kind of disappointing, but whatever. It's all coated in ice. Sure. And oh, we could do a summoning Hezru. We'll see about that. I think what I'll do, Farku, and this is a great thing to consider when you're planning out these kind of dungeons. Plan out what can I do to make this easier or harder as you go. Obviously, the logic here, right, is for them to go through 3 rooms. If they've gone through one of the rooms, like the first room, and they smash it, they just crush it, because I totally misjudged how powerful these wraiths would be, and the Archmage was not strong enough, and whatever, then maybe, yeah, like Farku was saying in the chat, I'll give these Hezrus demon summoning, as that's a variant ability in the monster manual, and I'll let them summon some demons, and then there'll be more demons. Demon, 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 demon. Everyone's favorite. Yeah, Farku was saying the Arcanoloth has some good Orcsy spells. That might not be a bad idea either, as an alternative to the Death Priest. So I'm going to add Bodok and Arcanoloth. And the Arcanoloth would be really cool. I'll talk a little bit later about another ability. But anyway, so let's go. Hezro, we already got you. You're all set. There's 2 of them. They're the big demon statues. Big pool of boiling blood. Sweet. They get thrown out of this icy wall. Cool. And we got these guys that come out of the actual walls. So let's look at them. The Frost Shapers. So here's the first problem. These are big elementals. There are not a ton of big elementals in 5th edition. If you look in the in the Monster Manual, you're going to find Water Elemental is the closest thing to that. CR5, it's really not all that threatening. However, if you're looking at all of the 5th edition content, you can find inside of the Princes of the Apocalypse book, the elemental myrmidons, which are basically just bigger, tougher elementals that have like real weapons. Great. We're playing level 13 5th edition game. That's pretty high level. Sure, we'll start these guys off as myrmidons. And I'm just thinking, I'm looking at these 2 guys. What do these guys do? They smack people with their maul, and they slow people. Whatever. Okay, I don't really care. Sure. They don't do a lot. They just hit people. This guy has an ice blade and an ice javelin, which slows people, and an ice burst, which slows people. Okay, they're basically the same thing. There's really no difference. So I'm just going to make them both water elemental myrmidons and change them into ice elementals. Coolio. I think the elemental princes are too high for this one, Farku. We're gonna save those for a later delve. And maybe I'll give one of the myrmidons a special ability that represents this icy burst. But maybe not. I don't know. Who cares? We'll find out. But yeah, I'm gonna go with ice oops, I hit caps lock. Ice archons equals myrmidons. So water myrmidons. Boop. Problem solved. All right. So we're getting along pretty quick. I mean, this is the first, and this is the biggest step, right? Is figuring out what monsters are going to be what. Because thankfully, all the dungeons are all set for you. Let's see, more tactics, I don't care. All right, features of the area. The entire room is brightly lit. By what? Sure, whatever. We can just say it's brightly lit. I think it'd be cool if it were in total darkness. Yeah, screw it. It's in total darkness now. So they're gonna have to deal with that. Big 25-foot ceiling, cool. The wall of ice. They step out of the translucent wall when they enter the room. It blocks movement and line of sight. Cool. And creatures that are of the cold subtype. All right, so I'm guessing those archons is what we're talking about. Regain hit points when they're next to it. And creatures that aren't take 5 points of damage. That's gonna be cool. Or they won't notice it. One or the other. Cool. Blood rock. Squares of blood around the idol function as blood rock. Oh, cool. That's neat. the kind of accursed death magic maybe does something there. And Pool of Blood, you gain resistance from cold. The supernatural heat emits from it. Whatever. And that's the portal. Okay, so I guess that's the idea. This is designed to be a kind of hard encounter where the boiling pool like protects you. I guess the Hezrao jump out and do stuff. It gives you some stuff about portraying the monsters. I don't really care that much, but whatever. But you could maybe find some interesting information there. And the last, so cool, we figured out that one. We're on to the third encounter, the last one. It's called the Blade Master's Sanctum. So let's think about what we want to do with that. Right off the bat, I see Marlith here. Oh boy. So that should be fun. And then we have Blood Fiends. What do they do? They have a Bloodthirsty Bite, which does ongoing damage and heals the Blood Fiend. They have a Terror Gaze. There's not a lot in 5th edition that does ongoing damage, but one of those things that we got is the Nikoloth, which is an Arcanoloth. So I think what I might do is these Blood Fiends, I might just use the Nikoloth. We'll see. Nikoloth is a little funky. They got fly speed. Yeah, we'll check it out. That might work. But anyway, let's talk about the setup. The Hierophant's consort, Amarylith, rules in his absence, commanding the loyalty of demons, abyssal ghouls, and a prized of a nation, left over from the ancient cosmic war between the gods. Wait, what? Gods and primordials. Roll a d8 and consult the map to determine each player's starting position. Only one Garistro begins in the room. The second is summoned later by the Marlith. The Blood Fiend begins its lair at the bottom of the pit. The abyssal ghouls begin in a separate room, only drawn by the blooded PCs. Okay. You step out of a wall of flickering flame into a room carved out of a nightmare. An enormous brutish demon stands in the center of a ring inlaid with runes painful to look at. It pokes idly at the crumbling tome before its attention is drawn to your presence. A yawning pit on the other side of the room seems to draw in light to its black depth. 2 thrones carved from countless skulls flank an idol of a ram-headed demon. Red liquid drips from its mouth into a basin in which 6-armed serpentine woman washes her blades. Okay. Alright, so let's scroll down and look at this room. So what's the thing that's supposed to be left over from some ancient war? I don't know. I'm not sure what they were getting at. But whatever. We're gonna just say it's the Garistros, I guess. That's like features of the area. We got it's illuminated, cool. Ceiling, whatever. Malware can teleport to either throne as a move action. That might be cool. Wall of fire. It does fire damage. Cool. We're gonna get rid of the ongoing fire damage. Ongoing damage is annoying. Can't get rid of it. Pit, 30-foot pit, skeletal remains. Oh, there's some potions down there. Cool. That might not be bad. They're all afraid of it, but whatever. Magic circle. Where's the magic circle? I guess it's this kind of slight inlay of whatever. Allows someone from the parts of the abyss. So only the Marlith knows to summon it. Oh no. That's the magic circle, I think, up there. Oh, that's the idol of Orcus. Idol is behind the throne, depicts the demon prince of death, blah, blah, blah. Oh, telepath myth. Those who drink of my blood have no fear from my children. Oh, geez. Any non-demon. So this is going to be cool. This is basically the idol will tempt anyone to drink from the pools of blood. So that's going to be neat. PC who drinks from the basin loses that. Begin to into all 10 damage. Wait. Alright, well, there's a typo in the book. Add R2 add and a level 32 magic item. So there's a big magic item in the pool of blood, which isn't really shown on the map. And I guess it just helps you to drink from the pool of blood, which, all right, a little disappointed. Crumbling tomb, that's right there. Sarcophagus, one-way portal leading from the realm filled with abyssal ghouls. Oh. Okay, so that's where the abyssal ghouls come from, right over there. It's gonna be important. And first time blood out of the room, 5 swarm out. Oh shit. The tomb can be destroyed or deactivated with some cool checks. Damn. well, sick. So that's really cool. Abyssal ghouls come out of there. Rad. Yeah, don't drink blood, kids. I'm with Farku here. Alright, so let's see. What are we going to do for what? Marlith. We're going to use Marlith. Cool. It's going to be a hard fight. Blood Fiend, we already said we're going to touch on the Nikoloth. So, let's go here. Garistro. Oh, if we use Garistro, it's going to be rough. So I guess it's going to be rough. And the Abyssal Ghoul Hungerers. I think I'm just going to use regular ghouls and buff them up a little bit. Because that's what they do, right? They claw people and the claws immobilize. That's basically what regular ghouls do in 5th edition, so I'm just going to go with that. And that's everything. That's everything that's in the dungeon. We have now, let me just quickly write that down. Well, I know we're using the Garistros for Garistros. Marlith is Marlith. So the Blood Fiend equals Nikoloth. And ghouls are ghouls. Perfect. We're going to buff up the ghouls, though, to make them an actual threat here, because ghouls are meant for lower level characters to fight. So, that's our first kind of step, right? So, we've just figured everything out. We've read through the dungeon. Took a little bit over 50 minutes, I think, or about 40 minutes, so to speak, to go through and figure out what we're going to do. The next real step here is to go through on Roll20 and go over to the journal. And what you would go through is you'd add characters and you'd put in the information for those base monsters. I've gone ahead and done that already, which is why I'm using these guys, and I'm not going to probably use the Arcanoloth or Bodak for the Archmage. Plus, that third encounter with the 2 Garistros, a Marlith, some Nikoloths, and a bunch of ghouls, like, that's going to be a brutal encounter. So I kind of want them to, like... I want the first fight to be easier, because that third one's going to be heinously hard. Yeah, I could totally just add more ghouls. That's a good idea, actually. I could just add more ghouls. I might do that. We'll see. We'll see. The problem with adding more ghouls, though, is if they don't have reliable AoE, that becomes an absolute slaughter. Especially with the ghouls paralyzing hit. But anyway, let's start going through these monsters and really doing the conversion here. So, Death Priest Hierophant, he's our first victim. Let's go open up our Archmage. So we open our Archmage. I'm going to rename him. He is now our Death Priest Hierophant. Boop. And we're going to rename him here. And cool. We got our Death Priest Hierophant. Armor, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever. Hit points, whatever. Probably. Let me just GM roll. So a lot of things... I put in the formulas here, but and you can find this information from either just searching here, so Archpriest, or if you have any other kind of your favorite system, you can type it in manually from the book or whatever. But yeah, so let me just GM roll his health. I tagged 2 GM, and I'm going to hit his health, and he's got about 100 hit points. That might be a little low for level 13, but I think he'll be fine. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not too worried with this fight being easy, being the first fight in the encounter or in the dungeon, because that second fight, I can always buff up. I can give the Hazro's Demon Summoning. And, yeah, the pre-prep. I'm sorry, Farku. No one wants to see me sit here and type in all this stuff manually. It'll take too long. The pre-prep has begun, or has completed already. But anyway, where was I? Right, yeah, so... I don't care if this fight's a little easy. Hopefully it won't, but whatever. Dagger. Okay, he's never going to use that. Let's look at his magic here. I don't care about Prestidigitation or Mage Hand, because I'm never going to use them here. Let's keep these ones just 4. Detect Magic. No. We already have Mage... Well, we'll keep Mage Armor there. Oh, it doesn't show anything here. He's a level 18 Spellcaster. I forgot to put in that he is level 18. Magic Caster level 18. Boop, boop. And we're good. So now it shows his spells correctly. These are all fine. These are all fine. That's all fine. Oh, Banishment. Let's get rid of... Well... Yeah, we'll keep Banishment, actually. That could be cool. Cool. Everything's good. Yeah. Alright, he's got some fine spells. I'm not too worried. Time Stop could be interesting. Maybe he'll Time Stop and then make some cool abilities to buff up his allies. Is Stone Skin Concentration? It is. That sucks. It's Fire shield concentration? No, okay. So he'll definitely, if he time stops, he'll use fire shield. I like to try and think about this stuff a little bit ahead of time and mirror image. So yeah, he'll probably time stop and then try and get through mage armor. He'll probably have that already. Mirror image or fire shield and that kind of stuff while he kind of takes his free time stopped turn. So otherwise, this is basically good. Let's give him an ability, which is this Word of Orcus, because I want him to feel like, you know, I do. Word of Orcus. Close Burst 5. That was an archaic term that basically just meant all creatures within 5 squares of him, which, look at the fucking room. It's like the whole room, basically. I guess even like the corner, it's not the whole room, but it's the whole room. So, creatures within 30 feet of the Hierophant that can hear it must succeed on a DC. So here's what I'm thinking about the DC. Stun. Stun's pretty good. Stun's really good. Obviously, we're not going to use a DC 24. That's not reasonable. We could just use a spell save DC 17. But I kind of want to use a lower DC because stun's a really powerful effect, and I want to keep that. But it's also given him by, like, this... it's not his arcane magic. So I'm going to go with Charisma here as his DC, which Charisma is 2 lower than Intelligence, so the DC is going to be 2 lower than his Intelligence save. Going from 17 to 15. DC 15. What kind of saving throw? I guess Wisdom... Yeah. Wisdom saving throw. Or be... What does it say? It doesn't have any cool flavor text here. Or... be rattled by the accursed... Oops. Is that, how do you spell accursed? I'm just dumb. Yeah, I was right the first time. Accursed words. Becoming stunned. Whoops. Until the end of their next turn. So, easy peasy. That's a really powerful ability. At this point, I like to think to myself, all right, well, what does stun do? So here is a favorite tool of mine. It is called Quick Ref. Quick Ref is phenomenal. It's croby.github.io. And just if you search Croby Quick Ref, you can find it. And all you can do is just click on the thing. So I'm going to scroll down to stunned, click on it, and it pops up. You are incapacitated, can't move, and can only speak falteringly. So there goes most spells. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and you automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Cool. And when you're incapacitated, you can't take actions or reactions. So basically, you just lose a turn. Cool. That sounds good. It's not like paralyzed. There's no automatic critical hits or anything, but it's a powerful ability. So we're going to use that. We're going to say stunned. It stuns everyone if they fail this saving throw. Wisdom is a pretty whatever. I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, like Farku was saying, it is an AoE stun. It's a big ability. And I'm going to give him Recharge 6. So Recharge 6 basically is going to mean... Oh, Rechange. Well, Recharge basically means at the beginning of the Hierophant's turn, he rolls a d6. If he gets a 6, he gets the ability back. That's an ability they kept from 4E. I really love Recharge. It makes enemies still feel threatening. Like this guy, on average, it's going to take him 6 turns to get this back. Or it's going to take an average of 3 turns to get this ability back. He's probably already going to be dead. But it's going to give them a reason to focus him, and it's going to be cool. This Word of Orcus is terrifying. I super dig it. Is there any spells we really don't have? I like Banishment, as it makes people want to focus this guy more. He doesn't need Scrying. I don't like Wall of Force in this context. It's powerful, like it's very good, but I don't want to use it. I don't want Teleport. I don't want him to get away. I want him to just die. Let's go with Mind Blank. We'll keep Mind Blank, because he'll use that immediately after time stop. And yeah, right now we're good. He's done. Ta-da! Another thing we could have done is we could have gone into the Unearthed Arcana, which is actually going to be coming out in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes soon, and looked at the kind of abyssal cult boons. But I didn't really want to dig that deep into it yet. Maybe if I had the book readily available, I'd go with that. So we got the Death Priest Hierophant. He's all done. Rot Harbingers. Like I said, we're going to start with the Wraith for those. So we got the Wraith. We're going to make him Rot Harbinger. Bap, 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 doop, bap. Wraith. Cool. Rot Harbinger now. I'm just going to keep it with the same abilities. It's like a decrepit rotting angel. I super dig it. Now, what CR are they? They're normally CR 5. And how many do we get on the map here? We get 3. 3 CR 5 and a CR 12. Is that going to be an actual threat for a party of level 30 characters? Maybe not. So how do we make that a little more threatening? I think the very first thing we do is we're just going to bump up this guy's challenge rating. So we're just going to go up from 5 to 10. All right, what does that change? A lot of stuff. There are the correct ways of doing this, and there are the incorrect ways of doing it. I'm going to be doing it the incorrect way. I'm going to keep his resistances and stuff all the same. Going to keep his sunlight sensitivity the same. This creature lives in the abyss. Oh, hey, Nem, how's it going? I see you're a demon lord. Welcome to the chat. I'm kind of prepping an adventure for tomorrow's game. Should be exciting. Create Spectre. That's brutal. Yeah, we'll keep it. Life Drain. So, right now, we've just made this guy CR10, and there are a few major changes that CR10 involves, but the biggest one is the, so can I search challenge rating here? Did my challenge rating? Will this do what I want it to do? Ooh. Oh, that's neato. I didn't know they had all that. That's unfortunately not what I want. I want proficiency. It doesn't have proficiency bonus in here, does it? Let's go to rules. So this is the SRD, which is called the System Reference Document. All of this information is available for free on Roll20 all the time. Oh yeah, Farku, what's the name for our Archmage? Oh, Demon Lord Nemi! Alright, Nemi, do you want to be our Archmage? I mean, sorry, our Hierophant? Character advancement, I think is where I want to be. Yes. So, proficiency bonus. Level 10 has a proficiency bonus of +4, where level 5 has a +3. So right now, just off of that, all of their abilities are going to be a +1 higher to hit. Because they have a higher proficiency bonus. On top of that, I'm going to buff up their dexterity a little bit, which their attack is based on dexterity. So we're going to give them now, they have a +8 to hit, and that's going to increase their damage by 1. I think that's fine. Cool, we've just buffed them up a little. And maybe we can buff up this health. Nemi, I will say, you can be our Death Hierophant, but there's no promise you're going to survive. These guys have survived quite a bit that I've thrown at them thus far. And how am I going to buff up their ability, their health here? That's a really hard choice. I think what I'm going to do, and this is not the correct way of doing this, just putting that out there. I doubled their challenge rating, so I'm going to increase their health by a little under double. So instead of going from 27 to 54, I'm going to go from 27 to 50, and here I'm going to go from 9 to like 14. These numbers I just pulled out of my butt. We'll see what happens. Let me just roll their health real quick to see what they get. But they got 118. That might be a little bit more than I want. Maybe we'll go with 12. 12 is a good number. We'll make that a 48, which is... Anyway, this doesn't really matter. There is a correct way of calculating health. It equals your constitution modifier times whatever number of dice you're using. And the dice are based on the character's size. What? Cool. And let's check again. We're looking at close to 100 health. Similar to the Hierophant. I like that. They're very killable without being too powerful. So we're going to go back to the Hierophant. We're going to edit his name. And Nemi. All right, Nemi. You're in. You've been a dragon. I want to be a dragon. They do have a big table in the Dungeon Master's Guide of weird, cool stuff. So anyway, we got our Rod Harbingers down. Cool. And let's go to the next tab. We're gonna look at now those icy guys, those elementals. So let's crack open our water elemental. And the second water elemental is gonna be a little different. So this guy, he's the Myrmidon. I stole him directly out of the book, what is it called? Princes of the Apocalypse. Which I've been running Princes of the Apocalypse in a different game. It's pretty sweet. I really like Princes of the Apocalypse. Highly recommend getting that book. The dungeons are super modular. Even if you don't want to run the campaign, you can pretty much hot swap them into whatever you want, and they're great. So, Ice Archon Rhymehammer. Awesome. I'm gonna rename him to Ice Archon Rhymehammer. And let's look at what these guys do, because this is great. This person, the one in the book, hits for some damage, whatever, some cold damage, whatever, and slows the target. This one hits with his trident and slows the target. Whoa. This is actually just a reincarnation of this monster. It's called Water Elemental in 5th edition. So great, like this is the creature. Perfect. And the actual slow ability is something they can't use as often. I'm totally down with this. This seems great. The only difference, right, is this does extra damage against cold. So we're gonna add an extra d6 of cold damage. And we're gonna say, against a slowed target, this attack does an additional, actually I'm just gonna type it here, cold damage. So see how I put these in double brackets? In double brackets for Roll20, that basically says to roll an inline check. So I actually can get rid of this cold here. And if I test this macro, I go to GM roll, type it normally, hit the trident, I go over, and we see 22. It does an additional 1 point of cold damage against a slowed target for a total of 6 points. Wow, that's so little damage. Let's increase that quite a bit. Let's make that, I guess 2d6, sure, whatever. And these guys, we're gonna make them, see these guys are medium creatures? Oh, they're medium creatures, I guess they make 3 trident attacks, so that's actually why. It's so little damage, but they hit a lot. We're gonna say it's good. We're good. And actually, we're gonna just delete the other water elemental we had there. And we're gonna duplicate, right click on this guy. Oh, it's not that easy to do, huh? Oh, well, whatever. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new ability, which and we're gonna make this be the big one's special ability, the Icy Burst. We're gonna call it Icy Burst. CR chart. Slow spell not trivial speed. Yeah, I don't know, Fluffy. Certain things are funky. Slow spell does not slow speed, which, well, actually it does, doesn't it? Decrease it by half? Maybe I'm mistaken. So Icy Burst. Each non-elemental creature within, and non-elemental's a real bad call here, but whatever, within 10 feet of the Archon must succeed on a DC, what's the DC we're going to use? So the DC here, we're going to base on Constitution. We know this guy's got a proficiency bonus of +4. So +4, +2 is 6, +8, because 8's the basis for calculating DCs. Don't ask why. It's a DC 14. Constitution saving throw, or take 3d8 plus, what's the con? 2? And we're basing this on Constitution because it's an innate ability. That's kind of a core inherent rule to 5th edition. Also, welcome, Psychopath. It's good to see you, bud. Take cold damage and have its speed reduced by 10 feet until the end of its next turn. Great. Fantastic. So that's all set, and rather than make that something you can always use, we're going to give it the recharge. Recharge. Hits a creature with an attack, which is what it says in here. Weird, but sure. Cool. I'm okay with that. And so basically, our regular Archons, Ice Archons, just aren't going to have this ability. and the special one will, and I'll mark them as with like a little dot or something. We'll show it later. Cool. Easy peasy. Hezro, we're already done. Oh, I didn't even see you there, Mr. Adrian. Welcome, my friend. It's good to see you as well. I apologize. No, nothing was intended. No slighting at all. Anyway, so looking at the Hezro, we got a whole bunch of different stuff going on. He's got his stench, which is neat. We have magic resistance. Cool. This guy's pretty good. And I already have the demon summoning in here. And basically, we're going to give them a chance to summon a bunch, well, just some more Hezro, basically. We're only going to do that if we need to. This is kind of what I call like a backup plan. If they have wiped this dungeon, let's say they have a cleric that turned undead and trashed those wraiths in the first room, and they killed the Hierophant in one round, that's when I'm going to use this demon summoning. If they took a good amount of damage and they're pretty beat up, you know, maybe whatever. We'll figure it out. So we're going to have the demon summoning in. Just summons more Hezro, maybe. Cool. We're done with them. Next, we scroll down and we look at the Monolith. So this is the encounter I'm scared of. Monoliths are challenge rating 16. They are not easy monsters to fight. They have a ton of attacks. They hit really hard. I'm worried that this is going to annihilate them without even a shot. But we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. I always underestimate my players, so there's no way in hell I'm going to actually use this demon summoning that the Monolith has, but it's there. We know that as a move action, the Monolith can teleport directly to its thrones, since we have that down there. But yeah, we'll see what we do there. And it's got this sick parry move, which is just really good. So, we have all the Monolith's abilities. Cool. Monolith's done. Next, let's look at... who's next? The Blood Fiends, otherwise known as these Nikolas. Let's get the Monolith back up. Nikolas. We're going to call these guys Blood Fiends. Blood Fiends. Blood Fiends. I spell it wrong. Blood Fiend. One of them is not plural, unfortunately. We got a lot of chat happening. I'm having trouble keeping up. Delicious rum. I'm with you, Plunder. I want some delicious rum. Maybe after this, I'll go to the store and get myself some delicious rum. That way, finally! Yeah, exactly, Demon Lord Nemi. Rise, my demons! We'll get those demons up there. I'm not reading it slow speed in 5e. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, no, we're not going to give the Monolith 6 Vorpal Swords, Farku. If only because if, for God's sakes, they somehow win, I do not want them with 6 Vorpal Swords. Could just have them blow apart after the creature dies, but that's a dick move. Anyway, so the Blood Fiends. These are challenge rating 9. I'm okay with that. I might actually make these guys a little weaker. I don't know. Whew. I think what I'll have these guys do is I'll have them frequently teleport to pick off specific targets, or I'll have them use their spells a lot more often than they otherwise would, because, man, this battle is going to be really hard for the players. But for now, we're going to keep them as they are for Blood Fiends. Just to reiterate, the reason I picked the Nikolas is it's got its ability Claws, which it claws them. It does slashing damage, and then it inflicts a fiendish wound, which does damage every turn. Awesome! And the players can either get rid of that with healing or with mundane medicine rolls. That's awesome because here, the Blood Fiend, it attacks with a bite, not quite a claw, whatever, and it does ongoing damage. Great. This makes sense. This is a similar analog. You wouldn't have to make this perfect. You don't have to find the exact match, but this is a pretty good comparison. Let's scroll down one more, and we're looking at the last enemies, the Goristro. Oh boy. So right now we know there's at least one Goristro, because one of them starts right there. And the Monolith says that she summons a second Goristro during the fight. We'll see. That might not happen. That might not happen. It depends on how things are going. If they're doing great, yeah, we'll summon that Goristro. But maybe not. So the Garistro is basically good. It's got all the same kind of stuff. Fist, hoof, gore, kind of same deal here. Got a stomp or whatever. I'm not too concerned. None of these are super special abilities. Yeah, exactly. In case Demon Lord Nemi trashes these fools early on, we don't want to just totally wipe them out. So we move that guy up, and actually I forgot to move the Hezro up with that guy. Cool. And now we're on to the Abyssal Ghoul Hungerers. So these ghouls, we're going to summon a shitload of these guys. We're going to summon 5 of them the first time any player is reduced below half. That's a ton. It's a lot of creatures. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to where it says formula, and it's going to have 1 health. 1 health is something that doesn't exist in 5th edition. However, in previous editions, there were things called minions, and minions had a singular hit point. So we're going to roll with that. And actually, you know, rather than give them 1 health, I'm going to have them have 5, you know, they had 5d8. I'm going to assume they all have the minimum health. They are starving ghouls. They have 5 hit points instead of 1. Cool. These things are going to get wiped out by any sort of attack that really hits them. And I think that's okay because we're going to summon a shitload of them, and killing a ton of enemies feels great. If the players wipe out all of them, say like these ghouls are spawned when the first player hits below half health, and a single thunder wave kills all of them, then the next round I'm going to summon 5 more ghouls and really encourage the players to take the time to destroy the little altar thing here that the ghouls are climbing out of. So what else are we going to do to make these ghouls threatening? A +2 to hit is terrible. And I don't think we're going to ever use bite. I think we're just going to always use their claw attack. So, because these guys have a claw attack in the book. They also have a necrotic damage that does a burst when they die. I don't like that. I hate enemies that hurt you after they're dead. That's so annoying. So we're not going to do that because that's how I want to do it. So let's buff these guys up. So they were challenge rating 1, which I believe is a +3 proficiency bonus, or it's a +2 proficiency bonus actually. And we're gonna make them challenge rating. Let's go with 8. I don't care why. That's just the number I chose. And what does that change? That increases their proficiency bonus from 2 up to 4. So we're gonna move these guys to 6. And oh, I typed 8. Well, we're gonna make it 8, and then we're gonna increase their dexterity to make them have better to hit. So cool. They have a +8 to hit, so they're gonna hit fairly frequently. Not all the time, but a lot. And actually, you know, let's turn it down a little bit. We're gonna make that a 7, and they're gonna hit fairly frequently, so they're worth killing. But they also aren't gonna be too overpowered. Yeah, exactly, Farco. I don't have to worry about the XP issues with killing lots of 1 health dudes. Demon guy, cool. DC9 con save? I'm confused what you mean, Psychopath. DC9 con save? You're talking about the claws? I don't know. Well, I'm cool with keeping the claws at a DC 10 because we're going to make so many of these guys, and the paralysis is so powerful. Right here it says that it doesn't affect elves, but these are abyssal ghouls, so yeah, you know what? Other than an undead. Oh, it's gonna be great. I really hope one of our players is an elf and is like, they're abyssal ghouls. That means they're ghouls. Well, they're not. They're abyssal ghouls. And actually, that should say fiend or undead. Then a fiend or undead. Cool. So right now, great. These guys are going to do exactly what I want. They're going to do like a piddly amount of damage, but be super threatening because that paralysis, 1 failed save on that paralysis, and the Garistro walks over and crushes you into a pulp. So let's go name these guys. Abyssal Ghoul. Done. All right. Well, there we go, everybody. We have just crushed these guys. My girlfriend was just asking me a question. Give me 1 moment. What the phone? What are you doing, bud? All right, cool. That's done. Thank you, Lord Nemi, for your undead blessing. May the curses of the abyss be with you. Alrighty, everyone. Well, let's keep looking what we got. right now, all of our monsters are figured out. We're pretty much ready to roll. Let me scroll way up to the top, and we can actually start putting this together in Roll20. So, zooming out. Step 1, page toolbar, create new page. We're going to call this Delve 20. And I'm already going to go to the page settings. I hate the normal white background. It bleeds my eyes. I have my personal settings I like in Roll20. We're going to start by making a pretty large page. Oh, not 0. And scroll down. And we're not going to touch dynamic lighting E. Well, let's, yeah, click it. Sure. Cool. So now we jump over to the page. And I scroll way the hell out, and you can see what we're looking at. It's a big empty page. So, first step, I already have all, oh, hey, Defrogotten. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'm prepping a one-shot adventure for my game tomorrow. It should be exciting, based on the old Dungeon Delve books. So, go ahead. I have a bunch of maps already set up. So first thing I'm doing, I'm going to go into the map layer here. Boop. And then I will click and drag the image up onto it. Yeah, I'm not a cat man, Farku. I'm just a regular person. So we're going to just drag all the maps onto it. It's important you go to the map layer first, as it can sometimes do some wonky resizing stuff. It doesn't matter. We're going to be resizing everything anyway. But so we drag all the maps on. Excellent. And the first step, drag one map up to here. So we're going to zoom right back in. To zoom in like this, just with the scroll wheel, I'm holding Alt and then using the scroll wheel. So let's look here. We got this guy, and right now we can see that the tiles are fairly similarly sized. I only had to drag it a little bit, and wow, because they're squares, they lock up perfectly with Roll20. Great. Awesome. I like that. So I like keeping a little bit of distance in between the wall here. But there's room 1. It's done. Room 2. Got this boy. Let's drag that, increase the size. We got to move this one a lot larger to make it clip right, but perfect. I'm going to do something very similar with that. Zoom in out a little. And then room 3 is huge comparatively. So maybe we'll put room 2 down here and put 2 squares in between just to give a little breadth. Then we'll start that guy there and just expand it till it fits perfectly. Is that it? That looks like it's it. Done! I'm working on a homebrew monster. Well, Defrogotten, what kind of monster are you working on? A little hard conversation to have with the Twitch delay, but I'm excited. I'm wondering what kind of beast you're working on. What beastie? So, that was the map layer. We're done with the map layer. Objects and tokens. Object and tokens, this is where the player characters' little character pieces would go. Well, we're not quite ready for that, but it's also where all these guys are going to go. So we're going to start. Actually, we're not going to start with that. A different variety of cheese dragon. Ooh! Now, do you mean a dragon made of cheese? Or Defrogotten, I'm into it. I'm into it. Anyway, we're going to jump on to dynamic lighting, actually. We're going to do that before we touch any of the tokens, because that can be a little funky. So we're going to zoom in, and dynamic lighting is already on, because we toggled it on up here. You can see if I toggle it off, everything's lighter here. But if I toggle it on, it's dark because, well, there's no light. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go over to here, to the picture art library, and I'm just going to search torch, because I like torches. It's super important while you're putting this dynamic lighting in to search for like a torch. So I'm going to pick this fireball thing. And I'm on the dynamic lighting layer. I actually don't want to do that. I want to click on that. And you can do copy, Control C, go back to the tokens layer and paste it there. I want it on the tokens layer so I can move it around easier. So we're going to get rid of that off dynamic lighting. Go back to the tokens. So I have this token, and I click on him. We got, name him Sheograph. Oh no. Alright, so I'm clicking on the torch, I double clicked on it, I go to advanced here. And what I want to do is I want to see all players see light, and it has sight. And we're just going to give it a 20 foot, 40 foot light. So 20 foot of total light, and dim light starts after 20 feet. So, there. Wow, you can see the little light going around. Nice and convenient. What we're also going to do is we're going to make a copy of that, and we're going to paste it. Oop. Because this needs to represent the swirling maelstrom. So we're going to double click on it again. We're going to make it, what, 80/40, because it's going to be huge, super light. And that one we're going to stick to, oh, it doesn't give me the option to stick it on the GM layer or the dynamic lighting layer. Well, we're going to copy it. We're going to go to dynamic lighting and we're going to paste it because we don't want people to see the little torch. So we just want it to be on the dynamic lighting layer there. So back to objects and tokens. We're going to get rid of the token one there. And we got this other torch here for testing purposes. We'll stick them off to the side. This breath weapon is a line of hot melting cheese. This is a perfect DnDTime monster, D Forgotten. You should play in DnDTime on Fridays. I think you would dig it with your cheese dragon. I might want to use a cheese dragon now. You've got me. And the spaghetti flump. Oh no. Oh no. Anyway. So, let's start drawing walls. Go to dynamic lighting. You hit layer polygon line. You can use other sorts of things for walls, but they don't work super well. Like, for example, you can use the draw shape, or I think you could even use text. But so once we're on the dynamic lighting layer, we're going to start setting what our boundaries are for dynamic lighting. So I'm going to make a nice small line. I'm just going to keep... what I like to do is I like to use a color that's not black. And I'll show you why later. But we're going to use light green, and this is going to represent all of our, like, major walls. So I just click on a corner here, hold shift, and click on a part there. So I've now made a line. You can see it blocks all sight. I right click to stop moving the line. And then down here, I'm going to click, and I'm going to click way up here. And you can see I'm intentionally overlapping to guarantee that no light's going to leak out. And I'm going to do that down here and up to there. Same deal. And then there and to there. Boop. Perfect. So right now we have made this little box here. And this might really not matter too much, but I like it. For here, because we're on kind of angles, we're not totally stopping. Yeah, exactly, Adrian. It's very important to establish your boundaries. Then once I actually get to the line, I can hold shift again and go up. Boop. And you can see I actually screwed up here, but that should be fine. Here, we're going to do the same deal. Holding shift. Stop holding shift because we're going partially, not all the way over. And boom. Done. So we've drawn a nice little line here. These guys, I'm going to say that they block light. So to do that for pillars, just draw a little X through them. And they don't have to be perfect. And you'll see why. But yeah, these are pillars of swirling energy. And that's all good. Maybe I should have made them actually give off light instead of block light. But whatever. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Already too late. I drew these lines. I'll just delete them. We're going to say that these don't block lines. They're just more swirling darkness. Cool. As long as we avoid blue squirrels in any game, don't worry, there have been no blue squirrels quite yet. D Forgotten. Let's see. Plunder loot. A unicorn alpaca. the alpaca corn or the unipaca? Unipaca corn. I don't know. Anyway, this is done. We've just done the whole place, a dynamic lighting set for that room because it's super simple. So let's look at this room. This room's going to be a little more interesting because I've decided that I want this room to be totally dark. So once again, we're going to start with our green. We're going to start holding shift to form these boundaries. They clip to the boxes while you hold shift, which is really convenient. And first thing is we're going to make the nice square that encompasses everything. Ta-da! The next thing we want to do is the ice wall, which it says is opaque and blocks stuff. We're going to click. Great. The third thing is we got this demon frog statue. And what I want to do is I want to take it and I want to just draw a line across the demon frog. Kind of like that. Oh. You can use Control and Z if you mess up. And boom. So that will block some sight. Now you can't really see how that works, which is why we go back to objects and tokens and we drag this torch over. And whoop, you can see just a little bit how the frog is shedding some light, some shadow. Maybe players could hide behind that. That'd be neat. And you can kind of go all around everything here. And it's cool. So we're going to leave that torch here. We're going to jump down to here. And we can see that there's a little bit more lighting that needs to be blocked. So the first thing is we scroll way in. And you can see, we go to dynamic lighting again. that we have these kind of black areas here, these little alcoves. Well, that's super easy. I'm just gonna leave them because they're black, so they're gonna look like the regular area. That's one of the great things with having like black walls in your area or in your map, is it makes dynamic lighting so much easier to set up. So otherwise, this is totally ready. Nothing really has to work. Oh, not totally ready. I had forgotten the pillars up here. And I'm going to zoom in this time for making the little square, making the X's. But I highly recommend just doing X's across them like that. They work pretty well for pillars in lieu of actually having a functional circle tool. The circle tool does not work well for pillars. In fact, it works extremely poorly. So, and boom, done. So now let's drag the torch up here and look to see how it looks. And oh, look, you can see it's perfectly blocking the light. The little X's are doing an excellent job. And you can see the frog is blocking light where it needs to block the light. So this is awesome. I'm feeling great. There is one thing else I'd want to do in dynamic lighting, and I see there's some stuff going on in chat. I want to make a line going up the frog. There we go. So if we go back to objects and tokens, and we drag this guy around, yeah, he's blocking a little bit more light. Not like perfectly, but like enough that I'm okay with it. And if you actually hold Control and L while clicking on a thing, you can see what it can see. So you can see right here, this is what the players will see as they're looking around if they were the torch. And that's great, because this is exactly what I want to see, right? You can see that it's still very obviously a frog statue. But yeah, it should be really cool. So I'm going to hit Control L, unclick, basically. That'll get out of there. Blue Squirrel are terrifying. Seriously, look it up in D&D Beyond. Oh, jeez. I'll have to look that one up later. Oh, you've given me a link. I will appear. I will look at this blue squirrel. Tiny beast. The really high armor class. He's a very fast squirrel. Keen smell. Frenzied gambit. If a blue squirrel takes damage from any type of forceful contact, it explodes. Oh, jeez. Okay. Alright, blue squirrels. Oh, and it gets rabies. Don't fuck with blue squirrels, guys. Lesson learned. I guess really lesson. Lavender chipmunks. No, we're not touching on that yet. Anyway, so that room's all set. Goody goody gumdrops. Now we're into this last final room. Okay. So step one, we're gonna drag that in. Or actually we're not. We're gonna leave it out. We're gonna click on it though, or we're gonna draw the dynamic lighting. Let's start with the right stuff. Gonna click and click, boop, and click and actually, why am I not just clipping to walls since everything's nice and square here? As I clip to everything. Alrighty, that was great, nice and easy. This is a very easy map for dynamic lighting. I kind of got lucky here with this dungeon. And we're gonna click and click and click. And keep in mind, you cannot hold shift when you're doing these like diagonal ones that don't perfectly fit on a corner. So we're gonna not hold shift for that, and you can see it's off a little bit, but that'll be fine. And boom. So the basic walls are set up there. A couple more things that I think I'd like to set up with it. I want dynamic lighting for that. Oh, that's terrible. All right, so I was able to draw a decent square. And with these, let's draw a line like way just across the tip top in case someone really wants to like try and squeeze behind the chair. But besides that, like, that's all the dynamic lighting I think we really need. The pretty dynamic lighting light area, if I now move the little dude in, or the little torch, you can see, all right, that blocks light in the corner here, that's blocking light. Cool, you can't see behind the chairs. We're basically done. This pit, I think we were fine just leaving it there. They explode. Oh, jeez. I see what it is. It's a chain reaction of squirrels. Interesting. Terrifying, but interesting. And that's basically it. Dynamic lighting is more or less all set up here. So now we're just going to drag the characters on, the bad guys. So we're going to start on the top. Death Priest Hierophant. That's our Demon Lord Nemi here. We're going to drag him on. Cool. And we're gonna stick him like off to the side here because he's gonna be off the map, and because he's outside of our dynamic lighting, he won't show up, which is awesome. So he'll be totally invisible to players because he's going to appear later. We have our Rot Harbingers, which, oh, I didn't mean to open him. I meant to drag him onto the map. Boop, and boop, and boop. We get that guy, and that guy, and that guy. I really feel bad for the player who's going to start right here. One of the player characters is going to start right there, and he's gonna have a very unfortunate surprise when he starts his turn. I suppose I should be saying they start their turn, but I know the 4 players I'm playing with this week, so. So let's scroll down to the next page. Cool. We got F. What are F? They are the Frost Shaper. Okay. So they're all just these Ice Archons. But we're going to give this one a different name. Still trying to drag him onto the map. Roll20 can be a little slow sometimes. So this is going to be the important one that can cast a special spell. I'm going to give him a blue dot. And remember, these guys are going to appear not immediately. So we're going to start them all off the map. And basically, we're going to just drag them through the map when it's their turn. So, like, you see they're off the map, and now they're on the map. Easy peasy. And you can use the arrow keys to kind of control that. And the third one, okay, should be fine. Where am I? Hezro. So I'm using the Hezro as the main way of kind of scaling this combat, so to speak. Except here's the thing. These guys are supposed to just show up as statues. So I'm going to send them to the GM layer here. And we're going to keep a couple more Hezro off screen. Because remember, that's how we're going to scale this encounter, right? If this is too easy, the Hezro will use their demon summoning to get more Hezro. So we got these 2 that are supposed to be there, but they're supposed to be statues. And I think if I just say that there are statues, the players will be like, there are statues, and you just haven't drawn them. Why? And they'll realize it's because there are probably monsters in the dynamic lighting layer. So I'm going to search a demon statue. So this, again, I just clicked on up here, art library. I'm just seeing what the hell we find. Oh. We got nothing good. If I search demon, maybe that'll... What's that? And that's like a weird face. That might work. Let's drag it onto the board. We'll look at it in a minute. Let's keep scrolling down. What do we got? Anything good? That might not be bad. And I think I'll give up in a second, but it's always good to just like see what the hell's here. Because it's just super easy, great stuff. Let's search statue. Maybe that'll help a little better. That maybe. That's premium, so we can't use it because they're meanies. It's no snake. Yeah, I think we might just be sticking with one of these things. Which is fine. I mean, they look good enough. I think they'll fit the bill that there's something bad there, or they're statues at least. All right. Gargoyles. Oh shit! Good call, Farco. I'll search gargoyle. But then they'll think they're actual gargoyle. Well, that's why they'll be terrified. Yeah, I tried Demon Construct to Forgotten, but I don't think it's actually going to find anything we want. The Roll20 search here is not the best. Gargoyles are getting a ton of wings. I don't think we really want. I don't know. I think we're going to be good with just like. Neither of those are quite what I want, though. Man, we'll try Demon Construct. I'll give it a shot. Or Evil Statue. That sounds a lot more likely. And if this doesn't find it, I give up. But yeah, we got nothing. That's fine. We're gonna use. Oh, let's see what it looks like from the torch's perspective. Where did I put the torch? Torch friend, come back. All right. I'm gonna take that and we're gonna drag it, make it big. And actually, we'll use this one. We'll spin it around so it's kind of like facing where they'd be facing. Burp. Burp. We're gonna click it and click and burp. And we're gonna look at it from the torch's perspective. Control L. Let me do that. And all right, I can see the guys in the dynamic lighting layer. Great. Jam info layer. We'll just drag them off. But back to objects and tokens, Control and L. And yeah, I think that shows that they're like weird freaking statue things. Yeah, they won't get what the hell they actually are, but whatever. Good enough. I think it'll be fine. We're just gonna click to get off of that. Maybe I'll make them a little tinier. And we're gonna draw some light lines. I don't really need to do this anymore, but I'm gonna do it just so that like the statues shed light and appear to like, maybe that'll like help to get the players into this kind of illusion that like, oh yeah, they're just statues. Do I ever import tokens? Let's see, you linked me a thing. Neat when you can edit scale down. That is, oh wow, that is a cool. I dig it, but at the same time, you've forgotten that picture you sent. I'm trying to keep things like as royalty free as I can here. I don't know, like if I don't think anyone would care, but I'm just using what Roll20 has baseline to offer, with the exception of the maps that I have. Anyway, so that's all set. These guys are all here. I do really appreciate the offer though. And what the hell else? Right, let's get to this last map and put the guys on. So we got the Marlith that's going to start up here, standing in front of the place with the thing. Cool. We got the Goristro is going to start down here. Oh, Marlith is up there. Goristro is over. He's huge. Jeez. And our Blood Fiend is going to start in the pit. And what I like to do with this kind of stuff is, oh, he's bigger than I thought. Oh, that's fine. We can make him smaller. We're going to make him on the GM layer because he's in the pit. They don't see him to start. These guys are going to see as soon as they're on the page. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a second Goristro, drag it off screen because, yeah, she'll summon it whenever. And that, I think this is supposed to be the summoning portal. So we're going to just leave him off screen for now. And then we need our Abyssal Ghouls, which, again, we're just going to drag a whole shitload of them. Burp, 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 burp. Ah! It's really rough when you start accidentally highlighting stuff in Roll20. It doesn't cooperate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10's a good number. Well, let's see. So we're going to send them in groups of 5. That's going to be outrageous. They're going to be fucking terrified of that. And yeah, what we'll do is I'll make 3 waves of them. And I have figured that, or we'll make 4, just so that like, if they can, that'll really punish them if they don't destroy the thing. But yeah, I think this will be cool. I think this will really be a good challenge to them. And yeah, it's basically all finished at this point. Yeah, it's pretty much all set. There's not a lot more to do here. I'll take the torch and I can actually just stick them up in the corner here and get rid of them. I'll put them in a box, dynamic lighting torch box. We're gonna make nice green. And there's a couple more steps here, but what's going on? All right, so everything's a little broken right now. Whatever. So the last step to really make this map really shine is I'm gonna go to the page toolbar and I'm gonna go to the background and make it black, and I'm gonna completely turn off the sight for this, which is the grid. I'm gonna keep the grid so it'll snap to it, but bada boom, everything is gonna just look great. So if I am this torch, oh my god, and I drag the torch to here and I hit Control and L, this is all the torch player is going to see based on their dynamic lighting, and it's going to be great. I'm super excited. Should be really neat. And then if I drag the torch off screen, it'll just be all black. But if I drag it into here, you can see all that different stuff. And actually, we got a problem because this whole place should be illuminated from the swirling maelstrom. So what's going on? Dynamic lighting. Click on him. What's going on? All right, it's not working. All players should be able to see this. All right, but I guess it's not working because it's on that dynamic lighting layer, maybe. So we're gonna go to objects and tokens, and we're gonna just search for transparent. I don't know, man. So that's not working. Maybe like swirl. Jeez. All right, let's see what that is. It's perfectly white. Great. That's not what I wanted. Pixel. Having a really hard time getting the exact thing I want here. So I think what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to go to the torch, because we're not gonna really, I don't think we're gonna need this torch. We'll see, maybe we will. I'll make a second one just because. Drag it off to here. I'm gonna shrink it down to inordinately tiny sizes, and I'll scroll away. Actually, great, perfect. Just a teensy tiny torch. And I'm holding Alt while I use the number, or not the number, but the keypad. I'm trying to make that dynamic lighting work here, but it's being funky. And we got this teeny tiny little torch that no one can see. Because this maelstrom is supposed to give off light, is the thing for all the players. It just gives off tons of bright light in this room. And so if you have a player, like for example, if I take away this torch's light, if I just make it 0, and I drag the torch into here, and I hit Control L to get the torch view, I want to be able to see, but it's still not working. Huh. Maybe it was working and just the Control L view doesn't quite do it. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna give... Interesting. I'm not sure why it's not working. It might actually be working, I'm just not getting it. So if I scroll out... Oh yeah, no, it definitely is, because you can see this is bright, and that's what it looks like without the lighting. So yeah, it's working, it just doesn't show with the Control L view. I guess Control L is only what that token can see specifically from its own source. Alright, well, you learn anything every day. Cool. We're gonna call that a success, more or less. Yeah, if I jump into the lighting layer, you can see it's plenty bright here where it's dark there. So it's definitely working. It's just being wonky for some reason. I guess it's a Control L view I was confused with. Oh, shit, there was one more thing I wanted to do in this room. And that is going back to objects and tokens. I wanted to make the torch. And I want to stick it here. I'm holding Alt so that I can squish it without like really worrying too much. And I'm gonna make him really, really long. We're gonna, maybe that's too long. Push it down a little and hold it up. Perfect. And so that torch will now give off light from there, from the wall of fire. And yeah, I think that's really about it. This is a pretty easy one to switch around and get ready to roll. I think it's going to be an interesting battle, set of battles for folk. I'm trying to think. So we got this swirling thing of souls. They're probably going to want to destroy that or something. Maybe I'll think of some kind of cool lore with that. I don't know. If I were using this in like a long-running campaign, I'd probably have that like, I'd have like an NPC or an ally that had died have their soul show up in it or something like that. And yeah, just pretty much ready to roll. Yeah, Roll20 is a very interesting tool. I really like all the stupid little lines for the dynamic lighting layer. It makes me happy. And I actually have decided I really don't like the way it looks on these frog statues, or whatever. They're just bad statues. So yeah, I mean, that's really about it, everyone. Prepping for this kind of thing is pretty easy. Even like walking through it, it only took me a little over like an hour and a half to do it all. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Make sure to stop by tomorrow, where I actually run this adventure for a group of 4 level 13 heroes. And hopefully I don't just murder them. I'm sure this first battle is going to be super easy. It's just the next ones, namely this last one, has a potential to really wreck them good. So it's good. I'm feeling good about it. thank you everyone who stopped by and hung out. It was great. It was a lot of chat going on. I super dug it. And yeah, hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye for now.